Hello, everyone. Marilynn Hughes from the Out of Body Travel Foundation. We are going to talk about Pensatia today, a lesser known mystic. And I want to point out, if I can, here we go, good for me. Pensatia was featured in one of my books called Forgotten Mystics in World Religions, Lesser Known Out-of-Body Experiences. Pensatia is featured along with 30 other great forgotten mystics from all the traditions around the world in here. And if this interests you, you might want to check this out. You can download it free at our website at outofbodytravel.org. Pensatia, her books were primarily published in the 1960s. And let me just check on these ones. Yep, 1963. This one is 1972. Okay, so what we have is this one is actually volume 2 of A Journey into Light by Pensatia. This second one is The Door of the Heart by Pensatia. This one was 1963. This other one was 1972. Pensatia lived in that period of time. She was a Rosicrucian mystic. So she followed the path of the Rosy Cross. Excuse me. And she had some very, very vivid, beautiful, fascinating visions during her life. And she's kind of forgotten by a lot of people. But she talks on this subject that we are talking about today, which is of the deep mystical experiences of the human soul. So thank you for joining me. Hello, Anayel and MT. Thank you for coming back, Anayel and MT. MT says this is a really great book that you wrote also. Oh, thank you. Speaking of forgotten mystics in world religions, which Pensatia is featured in there along with 30 others. Hello, Adriana. Welcome. And so I just wanted to read here. One of the things in Pensatia's works is she has a master teacher, and she calls him Master H. So you're going to hear a little bit from him in this reading. This is from the volume 2 of A Journey into Light, where Master H is explaining to her the importance of the higher mystical path and the higher mystical union. And I wanted to share that since that is our theme today. Hello, Sage, and welcome. So Master H is speaking to Pensatia when he says, outside the path, man knows not his course or whither he is going. He drifts with the line of least resistance, or else he becomes a strict materialist. His only values are obtaining fool's gold and an objective seeing and building. The dimensions of the soul are void of one's realization. Thus it is man who bars himself from the Garden of Eden by ever seeking to escape from the inner call of the masters and the God of his heart. Outside the veil he wanders with the keys to the kingdom within the silence of his own heart. There in the sacred flame of that inner temple of the rose dew, man may attain oneness with the God of the universe, discipleship with the masters of the hierarchical conclave, and attain the philosopher's stone and the fabled elixir. Master H goes on to say, the path is not something that which you can walk on and off without creating negative karma. Nothing is gained and much lost by so doing. Cosmic law states, when putting your hand to the plow, take it not off. Slow and steady is the making of a neophyte into the disciple and master. This process should not be interrupted, but allowed to bud and blossom into the illumined man. Only by application, perseverance, and walking ever upward does and will one attain the most high mountain. The path has none of Maya's illusions and changeability. It has no bribery or false turns. Glowing in its golden light, it leads straight to the high mountain. In pristine essence of cosmic law, under the all-seeing eye. The neophytes earn the right to know the masters and pass the initiations to the White Lodge. Never think this can be accomplished in the outer schools. They only gave you the tools to enter the esoteric center of man, the heart's Shekinah. Hello, John, and welcome. Now addressing me, H said, as we travel along understanding the overall pattern of the path, it is discernible to all who faithfully walk thereon. It is a vast blueprint of the way to the Shangri-La of man's journey through life. One realizes from the first solid step taken the wisdom and wonder of the Creator's immutable laws. One from the very first step upon this august path realizes the faint rustle of the Master's presence. He senses the law and order of the universe. He knows he has made the most important step of his life, also that it is up to him to progress. One's application, zeal, and absorbing dedication to the tutelage of the mystic way is the yardstick to cosmic consciousness and the finding of the Holy Grail, or the benediction of the Holy Ghost. One senses at the very start the profound altitude one must embrace to become the true disciple of the Rosy Cross. All realize only as they earn grace and the guidance and communion with the Master will such be. They know if they walk off the path, it is their choice, and one which has great karmic ramifications. For weaklings, the path is not. Only those who can take the harsh winds, the crucibles, the tests, and trials of the way ever make their way to the most high mountain. Yet to those who stick, those who have faith and stamina, those who seek only to find the heaven and God within, those who renounce the lesser, the fool's gold to find the all, these hardy neophytes, God and the Master's aid in all ways possible. Excuse me. All who start out weak, if sincere, may grow strong and often surpass those who are lacking in heart fiber. Such is the infallible mandate of the esoteric path. Give your all or fall by the wayside. Hello, Adriana. The promise of the path one can depend on. All the grace of inner perception is awakened. The centers open and respond to all dimensions of scenery and thought. There is that internal glow of the overshadowing God of one's heart that ever encourages one to climb on. There is that sacred aroma of attar of roses and the fresh dew of the fountain of life, which ever renews and regenerates the postulant seeking the illuminated consciousness. Above all else, Master H emphasized, there is that profound peace which man gains as he walks the path. That's from A Journey into the Light, Volume 2 by Pensatia. We're moving back now to The Door of the Heart, which is also by Pensatia. This one was published in 1963. So Pensatia was a fairly unknown Rosicrucian mystic, and as far as I know, her books are still out of print. I was very lucky to get, I don't know, it looks like I have about 8 of them up there in here. So it's definitely difficult to find her works. But if you can find an out-of-print copy, consider yourself lucky. And maybe at some point, a publisher will get these things back into print, because they certainly should be in print. These are great mystical works of a Rosicrucian mystic, which is unusual. Not because there aren't many Rosicrucians who are mystics, but because the Rosicrucian path is one that is highly confidential, secretive, solitary. So it's rare that we see a mystic from the Rosicrucian path who shares a bunch of insights into their mystical life. And so Pensatia is one of the few and pretty forgotten. Hello, Andrew. Thank you for joining us. Very glad to have you on board. So this I wanted to read to you because so many people ask about the Akashic records and all of that stuff. And I wrote about it in my own books, my little short sojourns to the Akashic records. But it's always interesting to hear what other mystics have seen and experienced in relation to those Akashic records. And for anyone who may not know what that is, the Akashic records are the records of our souls, of our many, many different lifetimes, of the things that we have accomplished, the things that we have failed to do, and the things that we have agreed to do before our incarnation in this lifetime. And of course, every incarnation, we have those records. But what often happens with souls is they will be taken there to be given some type of insight into what they've agreed to do in this incarnation. So that's oftentimes what we're taken there for. But the Akashic records contain all those records from this lifetime and from every other lifetime, and records from in between our lives as well. So when you find another accounting of it, you want to share it. And this is chapter 4 of this book from Pensatia called The Room of Records. So this is her experience of that. We have a comment here from MT. Those who are interested to have the copy of the book can find through eBay some of the books. Excellent tip. Thank you, MT, for sharing. She is difficult to find. And like I said, at some point, it would be great if her works went back into print. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, she says, I am fully conscious of the blessing, privilege, and responsibility that is mine each time I enter the heart and try to pen what flows from Master H to me. Yet unutterable happiness prevails while sojourning in that beloved presence. Thus it is with thankfulness that again I am permitted to sit at his feet in the cosmic garden within the room of the heart and write this chapter concerning the records. This time relaxing on the velvety green with the trunk of a friendly tree in my backrest, I am conscious of a new vision, the supernal heights of Tibet's mighty mountains spread out before me. I sense the closeness of Shangri-La, the whiteness of that sacred reservoir of knowledge. It seems only a step, and I am there. Yes, spoke the Master H, reading my thoughts again. It is indeed only a step for those who have traveled thus far to reach this citadel. All are able to see in some degree in matter what is clear to you, Pensatia. When realization has brought them to this garden, they feel, know, hear, or see the approach of all they have searched for. They are conscious that the most vital step of their life on the path is about to be taken. They are right. But it is written in the word, all who reach thus far can go no further until they find the room of records and read therein the imprint of lives gone by. So today, come with me, Pensatia, and we will go into that circular chamber where guardians forever protect the records of all that is, was, and shall be. You have entered here before by way of the heart. Often you have been permitted to scan the pages of the past and future. Thus many times I have permitted you to give out a few facts to others within the radius of your vibrations. Now that you are able to meet me in this garden of truth, we can desire to be there, and we are. And so it was. Again, I was in that high, round, tower-like room. The light was mellow, soft as candle flame, yet clear as though the penetrating essence of the sun of life caused one to see with keen distinction. There was nothing in that majestic circular room filled with wondersome silence save the bearded keeper of the book, who sat in profound dignity. O blessed one, you who guard the treasure of Akasha, how kind you are to all who find their way here. How patient, ever ready to turn a page for those who dare to ask, to seek, to know. How often, I thought, have you revealed vital epochs in my sojourn on the wheel of birth. There he sat at the table whereupon rested the book of records. The blue gold flame of the word bound it. The lotus of the heart was the clasp, and the hand of the Holy Ghost was the key. He of the white beard looked up. Enter, student, peace profound. I leave while the master speaks. And lo, Master H sat in that chair of trust, and the venerable keeper had vanished. Behold, Pensatia, spoke the voice of the Master H. Write in words bold and clear this mandate from the circle of the Absolute. Here are the Akashic records. Here all students on the path must tarry and read before they see in full bloom the lotus. Here they must face past, present, and future, the three in one. To reach here and read even a page from the great book means obedience and strict adherence to the discipline of the path. Only faith and absolute working of the law brings one here. Anyone who doubts or fails to meet the tests of the heart can never reach this portal to Shangri-La. The centers must be revolving at a high rate to be able to focus the attention on the unrolling of the scroll of records. All this comes about slowly but surely in steady progress as the student daily applies himself. It is inevitable that the hour shall arrive when one may enter here at will and ask what one will in sincerity, and it will be shown him by the keeper of the records. One will walk, live, and see in lives far back or in times to come. Sleeping talents lost in the ages will revive and spring from the book of life, ready for expression. It is here one comes to realize his relationship with all who come close to him on the path. His karma stands revealed. All cause and effect pass before his eyes. He not only understands what he has done in the past, but what he will do in the future if he is true to the path. Revelation and memory become one, each drastic and vital. Here indeed is the test of a student's ability to go on, for all must be able to read in the book of records before the masters take them in discipleship. Thus says the word, one must know some, if not all, of the incarnations on the wheel of birth. There must be a familiarity of past procedure before the lotus blooms into fulfillment within the door of the heart. Here in the silence of Akasha, alone save for the keeper, the student must come again and again to verify that which otherwise would forever elude him. Stamina, strength, and power which go without knowing are bestowed upon the faithful who arrive here. So all who are treading the expression, learn and use each little link given you, and there will come a moment of indescribable light when you will enter the door of the heart and finally hear. The bearded keeper will welcome you as one long loved, and he will ask you, are you ready to turn the pages of the past? And as in truth you answer, so shall it be shown you. Here is where the masters have only to look, and all the students have done or are doing is shown, and their divine destiny is already pictured. All that can change it is the freedom of the student's choice, and then the picture falls away from divinity. But the divine destiny is never lost. For in the word it is written, all must compensate for mistakes and finally use in power their creative signature and attain their cycle of soul awareness. Thus work the masters forever, serving and striving to bring even one sheep into the fold of cosmic consciousness. But think not, O student on the path, that this is a chamber only of sorrow, blackness, or despair. Indeed, for many, it is a starry experience of unexcelled joy. Ones. The star of love pointed love everlasting. The peace of understanding, forgiveness, and mercy is born and conceived here under the light of Akasha. The triumph of creative effort to be shown to be possible here. In fact, the student revels in the wholeness of the vision of his work, his place in the service of the masters. The triumph of creative effort to be shown what is to be possible here. A new rapture is awakened in each student of the way, which equips him with the necessary tools, and he is able to fuse the past with the present and future until the day when realization comes that all is one and one is all. So think not, O neophyte, that discipleship with your master can be attained in fullness until you enter at will and in humble gratefulness this room of awakened memory. Think you the masters dare to trust the disciple with great work? Aye, that the masters alone would allow one to enter Shangri-La until one dares to penetrate the hall of cause and effect, the pages of compensation, joy, sorrow, love, and past attainment. Never. It is well that the heart's lotus bars forever from entrance into this sacred alcove those who are not zealous, steadfast in endeavor and love of the way. It is well that the masters can see and know, else those who tried to enter unprepared would surely die as by lightning. But the purity of the lotus forever guards the heart's entrance. Only those who enter as little children walk within and find the kingdom. Now, Pensatia, as you give out this petal of the lotus, the circle of the all-seeing eye, I cause to impregnate this chapter in the fire of Akasha, to generate spirals of awakening in the souls of all sincere seekers and readers, so they will sense the road to the sacred room of records. I, Master H of Chaldea, of the Gobi, of the White Horseman, and of every path that leads to the path of realization, do put my seal of the unnameable ring of attainment upon all written herein. Go thou upon the last named path, and do thou likewise attain. Such is my mandate, neophyte, postulant, student. Peace profound. I looked up. The master had gone. I prepare to come back into the hurry and rush of life, but I am glad, for can I not enter at will Akasha? Humbly I am grateful. Come, comrades on the path, let us meet herein and know. So she ends with both an invitation from herself and from the Master H. And the Master H even makes this reference that he is enduing and embowing these words with energy that will help those who read them and hear them to attain to that Hall of Records as well. So thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to our channel. It makes us more searchable on YouTube. If you are able, please consider becoming a member. You can click on the join button on the upper right-hand side of our YouTube channel and see 5 different options for membership. Membership makes it possible for us to continue offering all of our resources available for free to everyone in the world. We will be having another live stream in just a few minutes. Please join us there. Thank you, Sage. Sage says, such thoughtful readings. Thank you very much, Sage. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I hope you all come and join me in the next live stream where we will be discovering the spiritual heights of Baha'u'llah's mystical life.